We will try to cover up to the extent we will be able to do as the time justifies. So let's start the deliberation for the day. And I just shared the PPT. Sir, you please enable the screen sharing for me. It is not allowing me. And meanwhile, I have opened the chat box so I can interact with all. All right, sir, I will be Tamil mujhe nahi aati hai, Mr. Venkatesan ji. If you will teach me Tamil, I will specifically speak in Tamil also one day. But as of now, I will try to make it more in English so that nobody should feel, and a bit of Hindi also. Right? All right. Is it enabled, sir?
Achal ji, you can share your screen, your co-host now.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. And a very good evening to all the participants also who have joined for the day. And I hope I will be able to justify the topic. Chaliye, before I start the topic, I would like to ask you a few things. And you know that you have to write in the chat box as much as you can. As much as you can. All right. Right. Welcome, Singla sir. So great, Vijay ji, great. Now, friends, if I ask you, सबसे पहला question, which Amit ji was discussing that day with me. So I would like to start from the same very thing, 129 and 130. What's the difference? Anybody who can tell me? And what's the difference? And which one section holds good? कौन सा पहले कौन सा बाद में, what is the sequence of those sections? चलिए, so I just say you, we will be taking up 129, we will be taking up 130, and then we will see the interplay of 129 with 130 along with the number of case studies and a number of case laws also on the same topic. So now I just started with, friends, सबसे पहले how the thing starts. SR sir 130. All right, चलिए. Now what are the things? Whenever we talk about section 129 and 130, before that, the section that comes in our mind is section 68, because the procedure starts from here. Now, suppose one of your client is taking the goods and inspection takes place. The goods are stopped therein when the goods are in movement. So which section that comes first of all is section 68. So let's start from section 68 and then we will move to 129 and 130. I request anybody who has any issue in that particular provision can ask me here right now. All right. Now, friends, if I talk about section 68, the name of the section itself suggests the goods are in movement. The goods are in movement and not lying in the premises. It is not the inspection of the premises. It is the inspection of the conveyance carrying the goods, and the goods are being inspected therein when they are in movement. The government may require, kya kehti hai? Government, person in charge of the conveyance, you have to carry certain documents or devices with you, like radio frequency devices. Ab documents, can anybody tell me what can be the documents? Keep writing. Your interest will be there, mine interest will be there, right? So whenever we interact, we keep our interest intact. Absolutely, Naveenji, great to see that. Invoice, e-way bill, bill of supply, if it is exempt goods, delivery challan. So kitne sare documents we already know, invoice, e-way bill, bill of challan, all these needs to be carried. Vishal ji, abhi to start hua hai. Wait for 2 minutes, I will come. What about if no e-way bill is generated? We will come to that. All right. So now if I talk about the person in charge of the conveyance is required to carry such documents and devices as is required by the rules prescribed. And what is the rule prescribed? For your reference, it is rule 138 and 138A, जो कि section 68 subsection के साथ prescribed rules है. The details of the documents validated bhi honi chahiye in the such manner as per 138 rule 38B. We will be taking up the rules also. Where any conveyance, now any conveyance which was referred in subsection 1 is intercepted by the proper officer at any place. he may require कि ठीक है अब आप हमें डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रिस्क्राइब्ड शो कर दिए और वो डिवाइसेस को वेरीफाई कराइए, अदरवाइज if the said person is supposed to provide that document, devices and allow the inspection of the goods. Right? So friends, what this section says, मैं साथ साथ में क्वेरीज भी ले रही हूँ बिकॉज आप लोगों को भी सबको एक पर्सपेक्टिव क्लियर होगा. किसी ने कहा मेरे पास ई वे बिल नहीं है. सर, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द रीडिंग ऑफ द सेक्शन along with the rules, it says relevant documents. and जब हम relevant documents पे जाएंगे और अगर आपके ऊपर ई-वे बिल एप्लीकेबल है तो ई-वे बिल भी एक relevant document है. so अगर आप उसको नहीं कैरी करते हो, your vehicle can be detained. क्या पेनल्टी लगेगी, कैसे लगेगी, वो हम आगे सेक्शन में जाके देखेंगे. Whatever you are carrying, my dear friends, even if it is your personal car, even if it is any motorized conveyance, if it is covered by the provision of e-way bill, then the e-way bill is required to be issued. If these are कहीं पर भी ई-वे बिल में ऐसा जो ई-वे बिल में और अदरवाइज ऐसा नहीं लिखा है कि अगर वो सेल पर्पस के लिए नहीं है तो आपको ई-वे नहीं करना है. इवन इफ अगर आप वन ब्रांच टू अनदर ब्रांच भी गुड्स ट्रांसफर कर रहे हो, although it is not for the purpose of sale, although it is in the same state, although you are carrying the samples, still then you are supposed to do the e-way bill. चाहे it is interstate sale, चाहे it is intrastate sale, any moment, the base document where it is not sale will be the delivery challan. So अगर आपकी सेल नहीं है, किशोर जी, अगर आप सैंपल्स लेके जा रहे हो, then e-way bill is required if the limit of 50,000 is exceeded. सैंपल्स को आप लेके जा रहे हैं, डिलीवरी चलान will be the basic document. आपको e-way bill करना जरूरी है अगर वो 50,000 से exceed करते हैं, and there is no problem in putting the car number of the person concerned. Yes, absolutely. Even if the goods are not for sale, bilkul right, still we are supposed to do the e-way bill. Right? Now, listen, what are the documents? Rule 55A says the person in charge, you should carry a copy of the tax invoice or the bill of supply or the delivery challan if you are taking the goods along with you. Now, let's have a look on the rules once. Sir, 138 rule is entirely on the e-way bill. I have not put the entire e-way bill rule. You are supposed to carry the e-way bill. Now, if you say me, what is the exemption for e-way bill in case of distance? The answer is zero. Zero. Sir, whatever limit of 50 kilometers or 20 kilometers that used to be there, that limit is from the place to the transporter. Ashok ji, I will come to this point. अभी अभी recent circular भी आया है, physical copy carry करनी है या नहीं, I will come to it later. Now, नितिन जी, सर बहुत लोगों को ये प्रॉब्लम है कि ये जो 50 किलोमीटर की लिमिट है, अगर मेरी ब्रांच 10 किलोमीटर दूर है, अगर मैं अपनी सेल 5 शॉप्स छोड़ के कर रहा हूँ, नेक्स्ट लेन में कर रहा हूँ, मेरा तो डिस्टेंस ही 20 किलोमीटर 50 किलोमीटर एक्सीड नहीं हो रहा, मुझे ईवे की जरूरत नहीं है. नो, that distance is only and only from the place to the place of transporter. And if you are making sale, giving to your own branch, carrying the goods for any other purpose, there is zero distance exemption limit. All right, chaliye. Now, if I talk about what are the documents, you already all have answered. Bill of supply, invoice, bill of supply, delivery challan. Now the question comes, how to carry it? Do we need to carry it in the electronic form or the physical form? Vijay sir, if I talk about the electronic form, copy of e-way bill can be in the physical form or electronic form, or it can be mapped upon the radio frequency device embedded to the conveyance. Even अशोक सर, अगर हम सिर्फ नंबर ही कोट कर देते हैं on the bill of the e-way, that is also a sufficient compliance. Even if it is in physical form, electronic form, or even number is mentioned, is a sufficient compliance. Rather, I was telling my own father a day before, why you always ask for a copy of e-way bill? Please mention the number and send it. Right? Chaliye. Now, other than that, अब बात आई इनवॉइस तो फिजिकली जाना था, बिकॉज इनवॉइस के साथ, बिल ऑफ सप्लाई के साथ, डिलीवरी चालान के साथ तो नहीं लिखा. देन दे सेड अगर आपका ई इनवॉइस है या क्यूआर कोड वाला इनवॉइस है जिसके ऊपर IRN नंबर मेंशन होता है, दैट कैन बी अकॉर्डिंग टू द इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली ऑल्सो. रिसेंट सर्कुलर आया, as per circular 160 also, they have clarified that if you are issuing the invoice as prescribed under rule 48 sub rule 4, there is no need to carry any physical copy of the invoice. E-invoice will be sufficient. Right? किशोर जी, अगर अब किशोर जी पूछते हैं आपने ये तो कह दिया ई वे बिल कर लीजिए, सैंपल कॉपीज ले जाइए. सर आप सामने वाले को अनरजिस्टर्ड डाल के आप जिसके पास सैंपल दिखाने जा रहे हैं आप उसका नंबर डाल सकते हैं. आपने सेल नहीं की, आप तो डिलीवरी चालान के बेसिस पे कर रहे हो. और कभी कभी क्या होता है, वी जस्ट मेंशन सेल्फ, अपना ही मेंशन कर देते कि आई एम कैरिंग इट. और इस क्वेश्चन को पर्टिकुलरली, yes, Nilesh ji, line sale is also one of the options that is provided. I give you example of line sale also. Morning में आपने देखा होगा on certain shops ब्रिटानिया की गाड़ियां आती हैं. ब्रिटानिया वाले की करते हैं, ब्रेड्स बिस्किट्स लोड करते हैं गाड़ी में एंड देन दे कीप मूविंग. जिस शॉप से वो निकलते हैं वो उसको सप्लाई करते हैं. दैट इज अ लाइन सेल. उसमें हम लाइन सेल्स का ऑप्शन यूज कर सकते हैं. अगर आप डिस्प्ले के लिए लेके जा रहे हैं, प्लीज मेंशन डिलीवरी चालान इज द बेसिस. आप सामने वाले का डाल दीजिए, उसको हम डिलीवरी चालान के बेसिस पे दे रहे हैं. इट इज नॉट सेल. हमने इसको सैंपल दिखाने जा रहे हैं और यू कैन पुट द पर्सन और सेल्फ का ईवे करके यू कैन कैरी इट, राइट. बट बेसिकली इट इज वी जनरली पुट जिसको हम सैंपल दिखाने जा रहे हैं, डिस्प्ले के लिए जा रहे हैं. और अगर लाइन सेल्स वाली कंडीशन है, आप शॉप टू शॉप जा रहे हैं, देन यू कैन यूज द ऑप्शन ऑफ लाइन सेल्स ईवे. क्लियर है जी? चलिए, नाउ इफ आई टॉक अबाउट 68 subsection 1, value exceeding 50,000 is the value, Mr. Bansal. For interstate movement of goods 50,000. पंजाब में the e-way bill का पहले लिमिट होता था 1 lakh. Now it is 50,000 even for the intrastate movement of goods. Yes, e-way bill का है and that is what it says. अगर मैं section 68 subsection 1 भी देखूं, the government may require the person in charge of the conveyance for carrying any consignment of value exceeding such amount, जो भी specify किया हुआ है, they have to carry that. Yes, otherwise इसमें अपना और कोई भी limit mention नहीं है. सर रूल्स में जहां जहां रिस्पेक्टिव लिमिट्स है, ई-वे बिल के लिए 50,000 का लिमिट है. आपको सामने वाले का आधार पैन लेना है, उसके लिए भी 50,000 का लिमिट है. सो दैट विल बिकम ऑपरेटेड, राइट. नाउ of course if you are taking the TV of selling the TV, sir responsibility किसकी है? आपकी. जब आपने जब उसको टीवी डिलीवर कर दिया, if it is not a second hand good, e-way bill should be there, but it is not generally stuck, क्योंकि आप एक टीवी लेके जाते हो, पर्सनल कंजम्पशन के लिए लेके जाते हो. बट yes, as per the rules it stands covered. अब आपने सिंगला साहब कहते हैं मैंने तो लाख रुपए का LED लिया है. So sir, when it is exceeding 50,000, you are supposed to do the e-way bill for the same because it is not covered under second hand goods, right? चलिए, now second point पे आते हैं. अब आप, but ये सारे rules will not be applicable in case of movement of goods by rail or by air. और जब imported goods होते हैं, the person in charge of the conveyance must carry a copy of bill of entry. So there it is bill of entry. Otherwise, it is this rule is not applicable in case of C and otherwise. Verification of document. The officer authorized. Now let me ask you 2 questions. कितने सारे questions आपने मुझे पूछे. Now it's my turn. If I say you what is a honor कौन माना जाएगा? चलिए पहले यही question पूछते हैं. Who will be the honor? Who will be the honor of the goods? One thing. Second is who is a proper officer? I ask you, interstate movement of goods चल रही है. Goods are going from Bathinda to Delhi. It is interstate movement of goods. Can a SGST officer is a proper officer? Yes or no? Can a SGST officer be a proper officer? Sir, even if it is on vehicle, I have already mentioned motorized conveyance होना चाहिए. On vehicle भी हो, it is not relevant कि कौन सा vehicle है. If it is a motorized conveyance, e-way bill is required. ये मैंने with that portion only I answered. Still, if you have any query, you can ask. Friends, Commissioner, you all are right in saying yes, but I will show you both the judgments in favor as well as against, right? So we will come. Who will be the honor? Sir, agar to invoice hai, so the person who is the consigner or consignee can be the deemed honor. So let's find out the answer to all these questions. Have a look. Commissioner or an officer who is empowered, he can stop the conveyance, intercept the conveyance, he can verify the e-way bill. Sir, आपकी चीजें यही लिखी हैं in physical or in electronic form for all inter and intra-state movement of goods. He shall, अगर वो चाहे radio frequency devices, you know what has happened? I will show you a slide at the end. अब तो सर उन्होंने टोल प्लाजास पे डिवाइसेस लगा दिए हैं. जैसे ही आपका व्हीकल क्रॉस करता है, immediately a message flashes to the concerned officer of that barrier कि so and so vehicle with so and so number has crossed. It is carrying critical commodities. प्रॉपर मेंशन होता है कौन सी कमोडिटीज है. इसका ई-वे बिल नहीं है. फास्टैग के साथ लिंकेज ऑफ द टोल प्लाजास, द फास्टैग एंड द ई-वे बिल साइट. So as soon as the vehicle crosses that particular barrier, the message will go to the officer concerned that sir पहले क्या था, 1 लाख व्हीकल्स अगर क्रॉस करते हैं, so कुछ 500-800 व्हीकल्स ही पकड़े जाते थे. But now with this, each and every crossing can be verified by the officer concerned. They are also allowed to physically verify the conveyance, and the entire procedure I will be discussing with you, provided that on the receipt of specific information, physical verification also they can do. अगर उनके पास कोई information है like evasion of tax, तो वो commissioner से approval लेके authorized officer carry out कर सकता है after obtaining the requisite permissions. Right now, if I talk about inspection, इस सारे process को I just explain you in one slide. 13, then 24 hours, everything I am going to explain you. Now have a look on the next slide. Here it is. Now have a look. सबसे पहले interception of vehicle. The vehicle is stopped. The officer is asked production of relevant documents. Then in that case, verification. Mr. Ganeshan, for every state, for intra-state movement, the value can be different. As in Punjab, it was previously 1 lakh. Now it is 50,000. On gold, e-way bill is not applicable. The state may have its own rule for that. But otherwise, for gold articles, e-way bill is not applicable for interstate movement of goods. Right? Every state can have its own rules and regulations and the quantums. Production of relevant documents. Production of relevant documents. Now think it as a story. The vehicle is intercepted. He was asked to produce the relevant documents. The officer verified the documents. He found no discrepancy. होता है ना कभी कभी, all things goods. Yes, he will release the vehicle. But if he says you have failed to produce the prescribed documents, friends, what issue arises? Can they challenge valuation? No. The vehicle cannot be detained merely on the valuation issues. If your documents are proper, the detention section applies if there is flaw in my documentation. So in our case also, when the officer hold our consignment and was about the valuation, I'm not talking about the weight. क्वांटम इज डिफरेंट. बिल अगर किसी और अमाउंट का है और अंदर लाइक एल्यूमिनियम सरिया था वहां पे, या एल्यूमिनियम था, या कुछ ऐसे बार्स पड़े थे, if there is weight difference, they can stop that, because in that case your question, your documents are not matching with the goods over there. But otherwise, merely on the basis of valuation, the vehicle cannot be intercepted.
Actually, I have a small query here.
Yeah, please, sir.
Suppose the goods are moving to two states and the vehicle is crossing the intervening state, some other state. So still the intervening state, without having jurisdiction on that vehicle, neither supplier nor recipient, they are detaining the goods and levying the penalties. So as far as the topic we covered till now, are they having jurisdiction to check the vehicle?
Sir, let me move forward. Your question will be answered. I will keep it in mind. All right, chali. Now, particularly for the officers, I have covered over there. Fails to produce, usme Manishi, I need to ask you a few things also, so I take it. Let me first take up the basic issues. Fails to produce the prescribed documents, undertake the inspection, sir, then there are number of forms. They can record the statement in GST MOV 01. These are their internal documents. MOV 01 में आपकी स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड करेगा. MOV 02 में वो आपको ऑर्डर देगा कि ओके, आई हैव डन द फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन. और सर, कॉमन पोर्टल पे within 24 hours of GST MOV 02, they have to give Part A EWB 03 on the common portal. That okay, the vehicle has been physically verified within a period of 24 hours. All these was done so that it should not be stopped in between. क्या करते थे, बहुत बहुत दिनों तक होल्ड रखते थे व्हीकल्स को. So that is why they gave the time limits. ऑनलाइन अपलोड करिए, ऑनलाइन इंफॉर्मेशन दीजिए. जैसे ही प्रोसीडिंग्स कंक्लूड होती हैं, not if conclusion of proceeding is not done, वैसे तो 3 days का टाइम पीरियड इज अवेलेबल. दे हैव टू कंक्लूड इट विद इन अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 days, और दे कैन टेक द एक्सटेंशन विद अ रिटन परमिशन. फिजिकली वेरीफाई करेंगे, अगेन पार्ट बी ऑफ GST 03 जो है वो अपलोड करेंगे. Discrepancies found or not found. I am not going to what are the forms. Release order क्यों, ये देखिए. For your ease, I have prepared all the form chart here. कौन सा फॉर्म वो आपको इशू करते हैं. I will also share the formats. वैसे वो सब आपके पास होते हैं और आपके लिए नहीं है. मैं सिर्फ दिखाना चाहती हूँ कि वो कैसे MOV 01 और MOV 02 इशू करते हैं. फिजिकली वेरीफाई करते हैं, देन दे पास द रिलीज ऑर्डर इन MOV 05. डिटेन, अगर वो डिटेन करते हैं MOV 06 में, they will issue you a notice and then you have to pay or get their goods released on the payment. और अगर वो confiscate करना चाहते हैं तो MOV 10 में they will issue you the notice. Right now, let me come back. सर, ये प्रोसीजर कहाँ काम आते हैं, जहां ऑफिसर कॉन्ट्रीवीन करता है. सर, within 24 hours from GST MOV 02, जैसे ही वो फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन कर लेता है उसके 24, आई हैव मेंशन्ड इट हियर आल्सो, within 24 hours of report in part B of part A of e-way bill on the common portal. Right? No part, no, nothing from MOV 01, it is from MOV 02. All right, chaliye. The detailed circular on it is circular number 41. That is also the part of the PPT, but I have just summarized it. सर, अब मैं जरा प्रोसीजर से अगर हम आगे चले, कन्फिस्केशन करते हैं, रिलीज ऑर्डर दे सकते हैं, 139 डायरेक्टली इन्वोक कर सकते हैं नहीं, या उन क्वेश्चंस पे. और जो एक अशोक सर ने पूछा, गुड्स छुड़वाने कैसे हैं, किन किन बेसिस पे हम गुड्स छुड़वा सकते हैं, लेट्स हैव अ लुक ऑन दिस. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ऑलवेज चेक वेदर द पर्सन इज अ प्रॉपर ऑफिसर और नॉट. सर, द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर की पूरी पावर सर्कुलर नंबर 31, circular number 3/3/2017 as amended by circular number 31 में दी हुई है. And for the purpose of interception, inspector is the authorized officer. He is the authorized officer. Even a person of the inspector can detain and intercept the vehicle. Now, let's have a look on section 129. Notwithstanding anything contained in the act. Sir, 129 stands with a non-obstante clause. Now, I ask you, is it related to section 73, 74? Answer to it is no. 129 is a separate section. 129 में अगर आपके गुड्स डिटेन होते हैं, और सर जो आने वाली अमेंडमेंट है बजट 2020-21 की, yes, it overrides the entire act. It says even if no proceedings are pending, 73, 74, even then your goods can be detained and you are supposed to pay the penalty under this act. Sir, हुआ क्या? ऑफिसर्स ने 129 में भी कवर करना शुरू कर दिया, 73 और 74 में भी उसको लिंक कर दिया, और इवन 130 में कन्फिस्केशन भी. So I will come to the case of Synergy 40chem for this, but for the timing, let's understand the provision and the amendment therein. Notwithstanding anything contained in that, अगर आपने कोई भी goods transport करते हो, store करते हो, when they are in transit, very valid question. Please keep the words while they are in transit in contravention of the provision of this act. When somebody asks me, e-way bill nahi hai, yes, that is the contravention of the act or rules. The goods can be detained. आपके goods vehicles जो पकड़े गए, that shall be liable for detention or seizure. तीन points दिए हुए हैं. Honor comes forward, honor does not come forward, or on furnishing of a bond. Now please read carefully. अगर आप 129 सब पे amount कर देते हो, all the proceedings shall deem to be concluded. सर एक चीज बता दूं, पहले 73 और 74 interlinked थे with 129. Now after the budgetary amendment, they have entirely delinked it. So आपके जो भी goods detain होंगे उसका order यही 129 में ही लीजिएगा. और अगर आप within a period of 7 days or 15 days अगर आप नहीं करते, so it is 14 days actually, it has been changed. So then in that case, चलिए amendment बाद में discuss कर लेते हैं. तो further proceedings as per section 130 will be taken, your goods will be confiscated. ये section जो आज की date में है, that I have quoted here. My first point, this is, चलिए आपसे पूछते हैं, आप सबने section पढ़ लिया. My first question is, मेरे goods अमृतसर से बठिंडा जा रहे थे, बठिंडा जाते हुए लेट्स सपोज अमित जी के यहाँ पहुंच गए. I supplied goods to Amit ji and it reached there. My first question is, e-way bill was missing. Can section 129 be invoked? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Absolutely correct, Ashish ji. Why no? Reason being, it is a penalty in motion, penalty in action. 129 is attracted while they are in transit. Once the movement is completed, completion of movement, then there cannot be 129. This is the decision of Honorable Patna High Court also, where they have clearly stated e-way bill was generated, it expired, but before the vehicle was intercepted, another e-way bill was produced. And if the vehicle has reached its place of destination, then you cannot levy the penalty under section 129. Chaliye, next, who is the owner of the goods? Now, if I say who will be the owner of the goods, first, अगर तो आपका bill accompany कर रहा है, if there is a bill, specified document, invoice, bill of supply, delivery challan, then the consignor or consignee, they will be the deemed owner. लेकिन अगर आपका माल बिना बिल के था. If the invoice or any other specified document, उसमें कोई भी consignment जो document available नहीं था, then it is the proper officer, and generally that who should be declared as the owner of the goods, or otherwise the transporter is supposed to pay the penalty and get the conveyance released. Right now, let's see, these are the cases. क्या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के ऑफिसर को पावर है कि वो इंटर स्टेट मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स, state legislature or the state government has no power to make the law or rules to govern the interstate movement, and they cannot even detain a consignment for not carrying documents that are prescribed by them for transporting. Sir, there are two judgments. Mr. Bansal, I will be coming on to delinking of 73-74. It is covered in the further slides. All right, चलिए. सब कितने क्यूरियस और कितने एंथुसियास्ट है जो टॉपिक आने वाले. सर थोड़ा स्लो स्लो साथ साथ चलेंगे. आई नो यू ऑल आर वेरी नॉलेजेबल. तो बेसिक प्रोविजन, ये प्रोविजंस देखने के बाद आई विल बी टेकिंग अप द अमेंडमेंट्स आल्सो, डोंट वरी. सर इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने बोला they have no power to make the rules, and they cannot even detain a consignment for not carrying the documents prescribed by them. Now Manish ji, I come to your question here. पहली बात, इंटर-स्टेट मूवमेंट्स में क्या एक स्टेट का ऑफिसर डिटेन कर सकता है गुड्स को? There is only one judgment by Honorable Allahabad High Court in case of home disposals, which says no, they have no power. Whereas we have Godrej and Boise Manufacturing Company case, and as well as the other case by the Honorable Madhya Pradesh High Court, which clear cut says that yes, अगर एक एक्ट ने ऑथराइज कर दिया, द ऑफिसर ऑफ द स्टेट आर ऑल्सो कॉम्पिटेंट फॉर द सर्च एंड सीजर एंड इम्पोजिशन ऑफ पेनल्टी, इवन इफ इट इज द इंटर स्टेट मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स. So as a result, practically also the interstate, even if it is the interstate movement of goods, they can stop. Now the question comes, what should I pay? Sir, it should be according to the facts of the case as per the place of supply. आपकी जो place of supply उसके according बनेगी, उसके according वो आपसे IGST और CGST भरवाएंगे. So yes, as per the various case laws, the officers of the state, even if it is a violation of the central enactments, they can stop. So there is no bar in that. I think so, sir, it stands covered. Now, still if you have any issue, you can ask.
Even intervening state can also detain?
Sir, yes, even the intervening state can also detain. And Manish ji, एक और बात सुनिए. Sir, generally ये intervening state ही होती है. Generally ये intervening state ही होती है. क्यों intervening state होती है? Why Ashok sir? Why not IGST? जहां पे जो आपकी प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई बनती होगी उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपसे टैक्स लिया जाएगा. और क्यों मैंने कहा मनीष जी ये इंटरवेनिंग स्टेट होगी, क्योंकि गुड्स आर इन मूवमेंट. सो जिस जगह से अगर मेरे गुड्स अमृतसर से लेट्स सपोज बठिंडा जा रहे थे, रास्ते में अगर वो कहीं पकड़े गए, सो इन दैट केस दे कैन स्टॉप यू. अशोक जी, in the practically also various cases we have done, जो हमारा टैक्स पे बनता था, if it was IGST, so we paid IGST accordingly. I come to your point, Ashok ji, in a very valid way by way of a practical example. Just wait. मनीष जी, आपके गुड्स अगर जलंधर में मेरे गुड्स पकड़े गए, कैसे पकड़े गए? अब I give you example. ई-वे बिल मैंने किया है let's suppose बठिंडा का, and the officer says your goods are in Jalandhar, but Bhatinda का तो अमृतसर से वे ही कोई और है. So they can intervene, they can intercept the conveyance, and they can inspect it when the goods are.
मैं थोड़ा सा आचार्य जी इसमें डिफर कर रहा हूँ. Though I got your point, goods started from Rajasthan to Punjab, and it while transportation it came in Haryana. neither Haryana is a receiving recipient state,
सर
neither
दोबारा बोलिए.
goods are transported from
पहले तो कौन बोल रहा है? I'm not getting that.
Manish Bansal this side, ma'am.
Okay, okay. आपकी वीडियो ऑफ है शायद. All right.
कर लेते हैं
जी.
हाँ मैम, इसमें ऐसा है, goods are traveling from Rajasthan to Punjab.
All right.
And during transportation they crosses the state of Haryana, a small portion, and Haryana people stop the vehicle and they levy the penalty, though we are depositing the penalty in portal as per IGST or something like that. But do they have a jurisdiction for detaining or stopping the vehicle?
I got your point, sir. They can detain the vehicle, they can inspect the vehicle, but जो टैक्स निकलेगा, सर आपके गुड्स जब जा रहे थे तो आपको तो IGST वन स्टेट टू अनदर स्टेट का मूवमेंट था ना, सो आपको तो IGST पे करना था.
जी नहीं, we paid it IGST, but हरियाणा
So
का
IGST में जाएगा.
हरियाणा का उनसे साथ लेना देना नहीं था, राजस्थान से चला था और पंजाब वाज अ रिसिपिएंट टैक्स स्टेट.
सर एक बात बताइए, पेनल्टी आप अपने पोर्टल में पे करेंगे?
डेफिनेटली मैम.
राइट अगर आप अपने पोर्टल में CGST और SGST पे करेंगे तो अगर आप पंजाब के हो तो वो पंजाब SGST को ही जाएगा.
डेफिनेटली.
राइट सेकंड, अगर आप उसको IGST पे करोगे तो वो IGST में जाएगा. So how is the question that the intervening state will get the revenue? My answer to this is they can stop your vehicle, they can intercept the vehicle, they will levy the penalty, but as per whatever is your place of supply.
एक्चुअली ना पता है क्या क्वेश्चन है, जैसे मेरे को जो मनीष जी की बात लग रही है वो हमारे केस में भी हुआ. मतलब हम ये चाहते हैं दैट अभी जैसे फर्स्ट लेवल पे उन्होंने हमें रोक लिया है ना, तो क्या हम वो जजमेंट जो आपने इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट की बोली है, तो क्या वो जजमेंट करके हम उनको एटलीस्ट एक बार ही लो डाउन कर सकते हैं?
Yes, जब आपके पास जजमेंट अवेलेबल है and you want to fight for it, why not? Let the department come up with another face of it, ना?
मतलब वो
So
मध्य
that
प्रदेश
is why मैंने तभी मनीष जी को कहा था कि ये मैंने फेवर और अगेंस्ट की जजमेंट्स इसमें डाली हैं, बट इसमें तो वो एंटायरली चैलेंज कर रहे हैं कि स्टेट के ऑफिसर को इंटर स्टेट की पावर नहीं है.
मनीष जी मेरे को लगता है इससे आंसर हो जाएगा दैट वी कैन फाइट फॉर इट, राइट?
श्योर राइट.
चलिए नाउ, बट सर मैंने क्यों आपको दोनों साइड ऑफ कॉइन दिखाए हैं? वी हैव फेवर आल्सो, वी हैव अगेंस्ट आल्सो, सो दैट इज व्हाई यू कैन. बट वो आपको ये नहीं कह सकता कि मेरी स्टेट का टैक्स पे करिए. टैक्स हैज टू गो टू कंजम्पशन स्टेट, सो अकॉर्डिंगली जो आपका पोर्टल होगा उसके अकॉर्डिंगली एज पर द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई आपका टैक्स और आपकी पेनल्टी पे होती है. राइट सर एक और लॉ है जिसमें मैं आपको बताती हूँ, यूपी में एक लॉ है, वहां के कुछ लोकल टैक्सेस लगते हैं अगर आपके गुड्स यूपी से क्रॉस करते हैं. दैट इज अ सेपरेट लेवी. अगर वहां पे आपके क्रॉसिंग पे भी आपको टैक्सेस है, कई एसएससीज ऐसे हैं जिनको यूपी में ओन टैक्सेस के नोटिसेस आए हुए हैं, दैट इज अ सेपरेट थिंग. चलिए इफ आई मूव फॉरवर्ड, सर 3 रास्ते हैं, 2 रास्ते हैं रादर. आपको एक ऑप्शन दी गई है, आप चाहें तो बॉन्ड फर्निश कर सकते हैं. बॉन्ड का फॉर्म है INS का, आगे आपको रूल्स में मिल जाएगा. आप सिक्योरिटी देते हैं, सिक्योरिटी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ बैंक गारंटी जाती है. आप बोलते हो मैं अभी पे नहीं करूंगा, आप सेक्शन 67 सबसेक्शन 6 अलोंग विद द रूल आप फॉलो करिए, आप अपने गुड्स छुड़वा सकते हैं अपॉन एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ अ बॉन्ड एंड फर्निशिंग ऑफ द सिक्योरिटी. नोटिस देना हमेशा जरूरी है. सर मैंने बैरेक लिखा है, मैं आपको नॉर्मली भी बता रही हूँ, नोटिस देना जरूरी है. और एक चीज और याद रखना, नोटिस में अमाउंट बताना भी जरूरी है. देयर आर वेरियस जजमेंट. सर एक बात बोलूं, आप इन सब डिटेंशन और कन्फिस्केशन के इश्यूज पे फाइट कर सकते हैं ऑन लीगल ग्राउंड्स. और कितने नोटिस तो ऐसे हैं जहां कहीं ना कहीं विद ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट टू ऑफिसर्स कहीं ना कहीं गलती की गई होती. सो कंसिडर दैट whether the person is a proper officer, whether a proper notice was issued, जिस नोटिस में क्या टैक्स और पेनल्टी का अमाउंट स्पेसिफाई किया है, अगर नहीं किया दैट इज नॉट अ वैलिड नोटिस. ऑर्डर पास करने के लिए प्रॉपर आपके पास जो है प्रॉपर अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड उसने दी है, अगेंस्ट द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस तो नहीं है. जिस ग्राउंड्स पे नोटिस दिया था उसी ग्राउंड पे ऑर्डर होना चाहिए, otherwise it will not be acceptable. एक बार आपने अमाउंट पे कर दिया, दिस पॉइंट सबसेक्शन 5 इज दैट रेलेवेंट. क्यों रेलेवेंट अभी बताती हूँ. इतनी जजमेंट्स मिलेंगी. पर्सन कंसर्न ने टैक्सेस पे कर दिए, ऑफिसर बोलता है वो तो 129 कंक्लूड हुआ ना, अब मैं 130 भी लगाऊं. आर यू गेटिंग? There are number of judgments. If the person has paid the amount under subsection 1, all the proceedings in the notice stands finished. क्यों कहा ये भी बताऊंगी. Notwithstanding, sir, एक बार पूरा एक्ट समझते हैं, then we will link the entire act. All the proceedings shall deem to be concluded. ऑर्डर यही लीजिएगा. आगे चलकर सेक्शन 73, 74 डीलिंक कर दिए गए हैं एंटायरली विद सेक्शन 129 एंड 130. जो पर्सन गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट कर रहा है टू द पर्सन हु इज ट्रांसपोर्टिंग एनी गुड्स और ऑनर, अगर उसने, अब देखिए 129 सबसेक्शन 6 इज आल्सो अमेंडेड. 14 डेज में, अब देखो क्या हुआ, नोटिस दिया, आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड दी, सब कुछ डीम टू बी कंक्लूडेड हो गया अगर आपने पे कर दिया. अगर आपने पे नहीं किया, देन इन दैट केस the person can go to the provisions of section 130. पंसल साहब वेट करना, इंटरप्ले कराऊंगी जरूर, अभी नहीं, 2 मिनट. 129 130 कवर करेंगे, फिर इंटरप्ले करेंगे. ऑल राइट, चलिए. सेक्शन 130 provided that where the goods are detained, perishable और hazardous nature के हैं, तो वो उसके लिए टाइम को कम भी कर सकता है as per the proper officer. अशोक सर, as of now the bond is perfectly a valid solution, so they cannot deny accepting it. How the goods are to be released, ये आपका सेक्शन है. अब एक बात देखिएगा, एक पार्टी, चलिए आप आंसर दीजिए. 1 लाख के गुड्स थे एंड वेरी वेरी वैलिड और लीगल प्रोविजन, 12% का रेट था. ये गुड्स डिटेन हो गए जी. These goods are detained by the officer concerned because e-way bill was not there. Now I ask you, how much is the liability? And I want everyone to come up with the answer. At least I should also see the name. Now so I am just looking at the few names. I want all of you to come with the answer. कितना amount पे होगा? Tell me. 1 लाख के goods थे. नवीन जी पूरा बताइएगा, पूरा. विमल जी पूरा बताइएगा, मैं बार बार बोल रही हूं, पूरा. सर द आंसर इज 36,000. कैसे? यस, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट आंसर बाय मिस्टर एसआर. एब्सोल्युटली 36,000. क्यों? हैव अ लुक. सर सबसे पहले तो बिल बना होगा. बिल में 1 लाख रुपए के ऊपर 12%, 12,000, तो टैक्स यहां चला गया. ये वो टैक्स है सर जिस केस में सामने वाले को क्रेडिट भी मिलना है. बिल था, ईवे बिल नहीं था. बिल के ऊपर 12,000 टैक्स लगा था. मैं यहाँ पे अगर मैं कहूं कि 12,000 जो टैक्स लगा था उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपको पे करना है, राइट विमल जी? नाउ ऑफिसर ने गुड्स पकड़े, 129 में कितने पैसे लगाएगा? 100% ऑफ द टैक्स प्लस 100% ऑफ द पेनल्टी. और सर ये जो 12,000 का टैक्स है ना, ये जो आप 129 में पे करते हो, इसके ऊपर कोई भी क्रेडिट सामने वाले को नहीं मिलता. सेक्शन 17 सबसेक्शन 5 कम्स इनटू पिक्चर. 129 वाले का क्रेडिट नहीं देंगे. अब लोग कहते हैं जी 24,000 जाता है. नो, 36,000 जाता है. सामने वाले का 12,000 जिसका उसको क्रेडिट मिलना है. आई गिव यू वन मोर एग्जाम्पल. प्रैक्टिकली केस डिस्कस कर रही हूँ. आज उसके डॉक्यूमेंट्स मैंने स्कैन नहीं किया, अदरवाइज आई वुड हैव शेयर्ड इट हियर. सरिया वाज गेटिंग ट्रांसफर्ड. 3,120 kgs का बिल बना था. उसके ऊपर जीएसटी भी पेड था, ई-वे बिल भी था. उन्होंने व्हीकल डिटेन किया, वेइंग मशीन पे उस पे खड़ा किया. बोलते सर कैसे करते ये भी बताती हूँ. जब वो आप वेइंग स्केल पे ट्रक के साथ ही माल के साथ लोडेड ट्रक को दे वे, एंड व्हेन फिर क्या करते हैं, एम्प्टी ट्रक का जो वेट होता है वो लेस कर देते हैं। वो लेस करने के बाद 5200 किलोग्राम्स का सरिया उसमें था। There was a difference of approximate 1800 kgs या 2000 kgs. In that case 2000 kgs का जो डिफरेंस था, सबसे पहले ऑफिसर क्या करेगा, लाओ जी 2000 किलो के सरिये का बिल बनाइए। अब ये बिल होगा 2000 के किलो के सरिये का। पहले आप नॉर्मल बिल में टैक्स पे करेंगे, फिर वो बोलेगा अब 129 में, अब 2000 पे सिर्फ आपको कंटेस्ट किस पे करना। आपको पता है उसने हमें लायबिलिटी कितनी बना के भेजी, 10 लाख। अच्छा कैसे कैलकुलेट की, कहता जी 5200 इंटू, मैंने कहा वेट 3120 तो मेरा डिस्क्लोज था, उसका ईवे बिल भी था, रिमूव दैट 5200 माइनस 3120, 2000 kgs के ऊपर मैं टैक्स पे करूंगी, इंटरेस्ट विद द टैक्स एंड पेनल्टी अगेन। सो कितने लगे, 3। 2000 के किलो का एक बिल बन के आया, बिल का टैक्स प्लस 2 टैक्सेस अदर देन दैट, टैक्स प्लस पेनल्टी। अब क्वेश्चन क्या रेज हुआ, अभी सर ने कहा था इंटायर एक्ट ओवर रूल कर दिया। मैंने बोला हाँ इंटायर एक्ट ओवर रूल कर दिया। सर आई आस्क यू, क्या एक नया चार्जिंग सेक्शन ही बना दिया है 129 को? व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दिस वर्ड टैक्स? आई आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन, आंसर मी। क्या 129 एक पेनल्टी सेक्शन है कि 129 एक चार्जिंग सेक्शन है? आंसर क्विकली। 129 एक पेनल्टी सेक्शन है कि 129 एक चार्जिंग सेक्शन है? It is, yes, absolutely, Naveen ji, I'm coming to that point only. It is a penalty section. Then how you are asking me to pay the taxes? How you are asking me to pay the taxes into it? Perfect issue ji, a new name popping up, so really love the names.
यही क्वेश्चन मेरा है that जैसे आप कह रहे हैं भी 3 times टैक्स लग जाएगा, आप कह रहे हैं भी 100% टैक्स हो गया जो लगेगा बिल बनवाएंगे, तो कायदे से 129 में वो बिलिंग की बात नहीं करता है, राइट? बिलिंग
Yes.
बिलिंग तो
बिलिंग नॉर्मल निकल जाएगी।
हाँ नॉर्मल, वो तो जीएसटी 1 में जाएगी जो तब की तब होगी, है ना? अभी जो एट प्रेजेंट इंटरवीनिंग स्टेट होगी वो 100% टैक्स लगा सकता है और प्लस 100% पेनल्टी लगा
सकता है। यस एब्सोल्युटली,
तो सिर्फ 200% करके छोड़ देगा एक बारी के लिए।
हाँ तो सर आपको 300% टोटल बन गया उसके ऊपर।
वैसे 300 इसलिए बन गया क्योंकि हम जीएसटी 1 में दिखाएंगे उसको।
सर बिल्कुल दिखाओगे,
बाद में दिखाएंगे ना, अभी के लिए तो जो
अभी के लिए
200% छोड़ेगा।
सर 129 में पेमेंट 200% की, 100% इन द बिल। 12,000 का जो होगा वो सामने वाले को क्रेडिट मिलेगा, जो आप यहाँ 12,000 पे करोगे उसका सामने वाले को क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा।
दिक्कत पता है क्या आ रही है मैम, वो हमें ये कहते हैं दैट हम 90% टैक्स लगाएंगे, और वो जो 90% टैक्स है वो अदर देन बिल है। मतलब जो लोकल यहाँ पे कहा जा रहा है दैट हम 90% ऑफ टैक्स, कहने का मतलब 90% ऑफ टैक्स नहीं, 90 1 लाख के ऊपर 90% टैक्स, मतलब 90,000 पे आप हमें जमा करा।
नो 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 सर, ऐसा कुछ प्रोविजन नहीं है।
नहीं जनरली वो क्या, उसका उनका कहने का रीजन ये है दैट वो ये कह रहे हैं दैट हमारा मिनिमम है ये जो 200% ऑफ टैक्स है, मतलब 36% हो गया ना टैक्स, 200% ऑफ टैक्स हो गया मतलब 36%,
24% सर,
सॉरी 18% के अकॉर्डिंग 36 हो गया, 12 के अकॉर्डिंग 24 हो गया।
हाँ।
ठीक है मैम, 24% वो टैक्स कह रहे हैं, लेकिन वो कहते हैं अभी हम 24% नहीं, हम ये मिनिमम है, वैल्यू ऑफ द गुड्स तक हम मैक्सिमम लगा सकते हैं।
सर वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स पे तो बाद में जाएंगे, 2 मिनट दीजिए बंसल सर, एग्जाम्पल के साथ करा रही हूँ, 1 मिनट प्रोविजन पूरा होने दीजिए, देन आई कम टू, उसके बाद आपकी एक क्वेरी नहीं रहेगी, आपकी ये क्वेरी नहीं रहेगी, जस्ट गिव मी 1 सेकेंड। और अगर कहीं ऑफिसर से जो डिफरेंस होगा दैट ऑल्सो आई विल टेक अप। एग्जाम्पल पूरी करिए फिर आप मेरे साथ चलिए। सर सुनिए, आप में से किसी ने अभी एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था, मैंने पहले ही बताया जो बिल के ऊपर टैक्स लगेगा उसका सामने वाले बायर को क्रेडिट मिलेगा, 12,000 प्लस 12,000 प्लस 12,000, ये 12,000 प्लस 12,000 129 में, इसका सामने वाले बायर से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, ये ना जीएसटीआर 1 में जाएगा ना कुछ होगा, ये 12,000 का क्रेडिट डी बार है, ये 12,000 का क्रेडिट इज डी बार्ड अंडर सेक्शन 17(5), और पेनल्टी का तो क्रेडिट कभी मिलता ही नहीं। सो इन दोनों के क्रेडिट का तो क्वेश्चन ही अराइज नहीं हो रहा। ये जो 12,000 बिल पे लगता है इसका सामने वाले परचेजर को क्रेडिट मिलेगा। आई थिंक सो सर, द क्वेरी स्टैंड्स क्लियर। नाउ लिसन, entire quantity and will be on the entire text. Sir, आ रही हूँ, उस पे सब पे आते हैं विजय जी. I just covered that up. Now listen, कैसे लगती है बांसल साहब एंड ऑल, प्लीज लिसन. अगर तो ऑनर सामने आता है, हाँ जी मेरा माल है, मेरे गुड्स है, आप बताइए, इफ द ऑनर कम्स फॉरवर्ड and the goods are taxable goods, tax 100% plus 100% पेनल्टी. ये वो टैक्स नहीं है जो नॉर्मल बिल वाला टैक्स होगा, ये 129 का टैक्स है और 100% पेनल्टी. टोटल 200%, 129 में. सर ऑफिसर वहां पे क्या करता है प्रैक्टिकली, और जो करना चाहिए, आपसे बिल मंगवाता है कि बिल काट के भेज दो. उसको पता लग गया बिल काट दिया तो अब एक आप जीएसटीआर 1 में तो चढ़ाओगे उस बिल को. दूसरा 200% वहां जमा कराएगा, 129 में उसका चालान मांगेगा, 200% का बांसल साहब चालान जाएगा और जो पहला टैक्स होगा उसका बिल जाएगा. सेकेंड, अगर गुड्स एग्जेम्प्टेड गुड्स होंगे तो टैक्स तो जीरो है, उस केस में वो वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स का 2% लेते हैं और 25,000 whichever is less. अगर ऑनर सामने नहीं आता, पेनल्टीज आर हायर, तब हम वैल्यूएशन पे आते हैं. और कभी कभी ऑफिसर पता क्या कहते हैं, मैं तो इसी में जा रहा हूँ, ऑनर डज नॉट कम फॉरवर्ड. Why? If the honor is there, then you cannot go to honor does not come forward. उसमें टैक्स और सर उसमें जो पेनल्टी लगती है वो 50% ऑफ वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स लगती है. जो वहां पे 100% ऑफ टैक्स थी या 50% ऑफ वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स है, वहां 2% था, यहाँ 5% है. लेट्स हैव ए लुक ऑन द एग्जाम्पल वेयर द गुड्स आर टैक्सेबल. अब इसी केस में देखिए, 1 लाख के गुड्स थे, 12% का रेट था, कितनी पेनल्टी लगी? 24,000. अभी आप लोगों ने आंसर दिया, राइट? अगर गुड्स एग्जेम्प्ट थे बट बिल ऑफ सप्लाई नहीं था. अब मैं कहती हूँ डी ऑयल्ड केक था, एग्जेम्प्ट है बट ईवे बिल जरूरी था, आपने नहीं किया. इन दैट केस 2% ऑफ द वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स. 1 लाख के गुड्स थे ना, 2% इज 2,000 और 25,000 whichever is lower 2,000. बांसल साहब पहले एंड एनी पर्सन जिसको किसी को इस एग्जाम्पल में कोई इश्यू है, देन आई मूव फॉरवर्ड. अब देखिए नेक्स्ट, अब ऑनर सामने नहीं आया, इसकी कैलकुलेशन का एक वे है. क्या गुड्स कितने के थे? 1 लाख, टैक्स कितना था? 12,000. तो भाई 12,000 तो पे करना ही है टैक्स, 129 वाला टैक्स, प्लस पेनल्टी कितनी? 50% ऑफ वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स लेस टैक्स. 50% ऑफ वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स कितनी हो गई? 50,000 लेस टैक्स माइनस 12,000, कितना हो गया? 38,000. कितना पे करना पड़ेगा? 50,000. सर पिछले केस में जब ऑनर सामने आया था तो 24,000 पड़ा था, और जब ऑनर सामने नहीं आया तो 50,000 पड़ा है. टैक्स प्लस पेनल्टी इक्विवेलेंट टू 50% ऑफ द वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स लेस टैक्स. 12,000 लेस कर दीजिए 50,000. और अगर वो दूसरे गुड्स थे तो 5% यानी 5,000. अब आप देखिए पिछले केस में पड़ रहा था 24 और 2, और इस केस में पड़ रहा है 50,000 और 5,000. अब मुझे बताइए बांसल साहब, यहां तक कोई दिक्कत? अमित जी, एनी इश्यूज और एनीबॉडी हैविंग एनी इश्यूज टिल नाउ?
एक्चुअली आप आगे वैसे डिस्कस कर लेंगे. अब दिक्कत क्या आ रही है जब हमारी गाड़ी पकड़ी जाती है,
तो थोड़ी सी वॉल्यूम आप करेंगे?
हाँ जी सॉरी मैम, जब हमारी गाड़ी पकड़ी जाती है तो मेनली दिक्कत क्या आती है, वो ये कहते हैं दैट हम 129 की जगह पे 130 लगाएंगे. वैसे आप आगे कवर करोगे,
आऊंगी 129.
तो उसमें क्या कहते हैं, मिनिमम पेनल्टी जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं वो वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स तक ले जाते हैं.
ओके, आई गॉट योर पॉइंट सर. होल्ड ऑन फॉर 130.
हाँ बस वही रीजन.
होल्ड ऑन फॉर 130. होल्ड ऑन फॉर 130. चलिए, नाउ नेक्स्ट इशू इज द नेक्स्ट इशू व्हिच कम्स, अमेंडमेंट हो गई. जो हम कहते थे 129 सेक्शन एक चार्जिंग सेक्शन नहीं है, बट मैंने पिछला सेक्शन और पिछली एग्जांपल्स क्यों कराई, अगर आज किसी क्लाइंट का गुड्स डिटेन हो जाते हैं तो प्लीज यही सेक्शन लगेगा अब जो अभी चल रहा है. आई एम ट्राइंग विजय सर, बट बिकॉज इट्स अ मिक्स क्राउड आई विल ट्राई. Now 129 जो है, that will be attracted this section only. And if I talk about the amendment, because it is a budgetary amendment, आपकी सारी दिक्कत ही दूर कर दी. 100% ऑफ द टैक्स नहीं देंगे. ऑल राइट, उसने पता क्या कहा, बिल का टैक्स तो बिल में जाना ही है. वहां पे क्या था, 100% टैक्स 100% पेनल्टी, खत्म कर दिया और सिर्फ पेनल्टी छोड़ दी. अब आप सोचेंगे खुश हो जाएंगे, बस अब तो पेनल्टी देनी है 100%. नो, इट इज 200% पेनल्टी नाउ. So the one thing which we used to say, that how in section 129 you are collecting the taxes, they have removed this anomaly and they have mentioned now it is 200% penalty. So jaldi se batao iske sath kaun sa section और amend hona chahiye, which other section needs to be amended? Sir, 17 subsection 5. अब 129 में कोई टैक्स ही नहीं रहा जिसका आप क्रेडिट डी बार करोगे. अब तो 200% पेनल्टी हो गई. बट अभी तक उन्होंने सेक्शन 17(5) में चेंज प्रपोज नहीं किया, विच इज एन एनॉमली. नाउ 129 सबसेक्शन 1 से सेम रहा, कोई चेंज नहीं हुआ, वर्ड्स कट गए, 200% ऑफ पेनल्टी अमाउंट आ गया. सेकेंड थिंग, अशोक सर, by this budgetary amendment to section 129, the provisions of subsection 6 mutatis mutandis apply is omitted. The bond furnishing and the guarantee furnishing procedures and those stands omitted. Right? चलिए आगे चलते हैं. But as of now the provision still prevails. Other than that, क्या चेंज किया सर? डीलिंकिंग कर दी. कैसे डीलिंकिंग कर दी? ये तो वही चेंज है, टैक्स इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी लिखा था, अब सीधा उन्होंने पेनल्टी कर दिया 200%. सर चेंज क्या क्या? और देखो क्लॉज नंबर सी डिलीट हो गया सर, क्लॉज ए और क्लॉज बी रह गए. नो फर्निशिंग, लेट मी ओपन द चैट बॉक्स. No furnishing of the bond after the budgetary amendment comes into picture. Next point, delinking. कहीं ना कहीं प्लीज लिसन केयरफुली. सब पहले 129 सबसेक्शन 6 में क्या लिखा था? अगर आप फेल हो जाते हो, मैंने अभी बताया भी था, अमाउंट पे करने के लिए, तो इट विल पेव द वे टू सेक्शन 130, ये लिखा था. एंटायरली डीलिंक कर दिया, 130 सेक्शन का रेफरेंस ही हटा दिया. अब अगर आप 129 में आते हो और आप फेल हो जाते हो 15 डेज में पेमेंट करने के लिए, then in that case you don't have to go to 130 itself. Power डाल दी, the goods or conveyance so detained shall be liable to be sold or disposed of in the such manner to recover the penalty payable. कितना? 200% रिकवर करने के लिए उनको पावर दे दी इसी सेक्शन में, that you can now your goods can be sold. Sir, what was the issue? Two issues were there. Is 130 an independent section, mutually exclusive section, or 130 में जाने का रास्ता 129 से होकर है? That was due to 129 subsection 6, because ये कहता था in case you fail then 130 will be invoked. In case you fail then 130 will be invoked. Or on the contrary, please listen it very carefully, it is really a very thing to a point of law to deliberate upon. 129 में लिखा if you fail will be taken to 130. All right, मतलब अगर कोई ऑफिसर 129 में आया और पर्सन पे नहीं करा तब वो 130 में ले जाएगा. At the same time section 130 में Ganesh sir, I tried that. Sir, I'm not you. Bansi sir, everybody is comfortable if I speak in English?
Sure, Anjali.
All right. Right, Ganeshan sir, I do that. Now listen, at one point of time, the point comes that to go into 130, 129 is the way. 129 mein when you fail, then you go to 130. At the same time, 130 is starting with a non-obstante clause. Forget everything. Forget everything. So 130 is an independent section because notwithstanding anything, words have been added to it. Now, through the budgetary amendments proposed, they are trying to delink both the sections. From section 129 subsection 6 also, they have removed the words, moved to section 130. No, they have itself given. Now, Bansal sir, the officer will not say, if you are not paying, he will be taking you to 130. Although I know your issue is directly taking you to 130. But he will not say.
एक और चीज है मैम, इसी बात पे आपने अभी इसको बात को छेड़ दिया, तो मैं मनीष जी के साथ भी डिस्कस कर रहा था एक बात। तो क्या अब ये बेनिफिट हम ले सकते हैं दैट 129.6 में जो लिखा हुआ है वो आप 130 में जाके, अगर आपने 139.6 में नहीं पे किया तो हम 130 में जाएंगे, लेकिन 130 नॉट विद स्टैंडिंग से शुरू होता है। तो क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं दैट 130 में ये तो लिखा ही नहीं हुआ दैट 129.6 से आ रहे हैं आप?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Yahi interplay I will be explaining ahead. But let me go for it. Sir, 129 subsection 6 says that you will go to 130 once there is a failure to pay. But at the same time, 130 starts with the word non-obstante clause. And sir, this has been the ruling of Synergy Forticam also, that these are mutually exclusive sections. I will be taking up the Synergy Forticam in detail. But for everybody to understand, let me go step by step. Now, friends, in the proposed budgetary amendment, they have removed the linking between 129 and 130. One more thing. One more amendment is proposed, and a good amendment. What used to happen? The goods belong to Bansal Saab. Bansal Saab, with due respect. So, belong to Bansal Saab. But Vichara transporter was in a dilemma. Sir, kuch kariye, do something. My vehicle is detained over there. I was earning 25,000 revenue per day. But because of your goods, my vehicle is detained. So now they have given the option to the transporter. If you think and you want your vehicle should be allowed to go, you can take out your vehicle by payment of tax or 1 lakh rupees, whichever is lower. Whichever is lower. Right? I just come to Manishji to your question. So one more benefit, because sir, the transporters used to say that they are at loss. The goods belong to some other person, but their vehicle is detained. They have the loss of revenue. So that is why a point was changed. Now, let's see the change with the help of the examples. Same example. Now, if the goods are taxable, 200%. Here it remains same. It is entire amount of penalty. Here the penalty turns out to be penalty equivalent to 50%. Amount remains same. 200% of the tax. So the provision remains same, but now there will be no tax. Straightforward. 1 lakh goods, direct 24,000 penalty. 1 lakh goods, exempt goods, 2,000 rupees direct penalty. Here also, amount remains 50,000 only, but now there will be no tax. No 12,000 plus 38,000. No. Directly 50% of the value of goods, 50,000, or 200%, 24,000, whichever is higher, 50,000. So this has been the change, which is a proposed change and which was a legal anomaly that has been removed. Now, if the vehicle is detained, normal bill tax plus 200% penalty. So a penal section, given the status of the penal, sir, previously what used to happen, your question, sir, there was no time limit that was prescribed for the issue of notice. The officer concerned used to delay in issuing the notice after the detention order under MOV 06. Now they have provided the time limit that within 7 days, you must issue the notice of MOV 07. And earlier it was confiscation and now it is sale for, earlier it used to refer to 130. And now it says, here only we will sell your goods and will collect the penalty. Right? Now, Ashok sir, your issues. When and in what situations? When and in what? I have not come to interplay yet, sir, because we are yet to do 130. But let me complete 129 in detail. In section 129, in
मैम
case
एक छोटी सी चीज और पूछनी है। जैसे मैम ट्रांसपोर्टर 1 लाख रुपया देके अपनी गाड़ी छुड़वा सकता है, तो क्या प्रैक्टिकली मतलब आपने केस हैंडल करते हो ये मतलब वो गाड़ी अनलोड करवाते हैं?
सर गुड्स तो वो रखते सर, अगर तो वो टैक्स ही पे कर देता है गुड्स का।
नहीं, टैक्स नहीं पे करता। सपोज क्या हम ये प्ली ले सकते हैं दैट ट्रांसपोर्टर कहे जी मेरी गाड़ी तो छोड़ो, मेरा क्या नुकसान है, और 1 लाख रुपया देके गाड़ी मतलब विद गुड्स छोड़ सकते हैं वो?
सर इट इज ओनली अ रिलीफ टू द ट्रांसपोर्टर।
तो मतलब गुड्स अनलोड करवा लेंगे?
गुड्स अनलोड कराते हैं। और अभी ये प्रोविजन इंप्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ बंसल सर।
ठीक है मैम।
This is a budgetary amendment. So it is only a relief which is provided to the transporter or in whom the detention proceedings have been taken up.
Okay.
All right. Now, sir, कहाँ वो आपकी goods detain नहीं कर सकते? Consigner की name में कोई spelling mistakes? If there are certain spelling mistakes, whether a person can be arrested or FIR can be lodged against the person. कित्थे पहुंच के सिंगला साहब? क्वेश्चन का लिंक समझ नहीं आया, थोड़ा सा इलेबोरेट कर दीजिए। नाउ तो गणेशन सर इज गोइंग गो आफ्टर मी व्हेन आई एम यूजिंग पंजाबी आल्सो इन बिटवीन। चलिए, एनी हाउ इट वाज ओनली फॉर अ ब्रेक। फ्रेंड्स, स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स, माइनर मिस्टेक्स, error in the pin code, but the entire consigner and consignee address is correct. Address of the consignee is also correct. Even the location is correct, but a few errors in the house number or the shop number. A few digit of the document number has been wrongly mentioned on the e-way bill. Error in the HSN code, only first 2 digits are, but if the first 2 digits are correct, then it means that, okay, the intention was not there to do something wrong. If there is error in the vehicle number, the entire vehicle number is correct, but a digit has been misspelled, then in that cases, the entire 100% of the amount should not be levied. For such cases, you can see the quantum of default, the quantum of penalty should be. You cannot hang a person to death just for crossing a traffic signal. And that is what has been provided by the circular. If you think certain errors have been committed, then you should levy the penalty of the minor breaches like a minor one. 500, 500, 1000, a penalty may be imposed, a record of such consignments may be kept, but not a higher amount of penalty. And furthermore, I mentioned, if 50 consignments, like I gave you the example, 5,200 kgs and 3,100 were already billed, then in that case, the penalty should be levied only on those 20 consignments or the difference in valuation, the difference in the quantum, not on the entire. Can undervaluation only be taken? Mr. Bansal, don't worry, the telepathy is there. I have quoted the case law also. Answer is no. Only on the basis of undervaluation, because the entire section 129 says the documents are lapsing. The rule says the documents are lapsing. So only on the basis of undervaluation, no. Even we have the High Court judgment also for the same. Confiscation under section 130. Bansal sir to wants quickly this should cross and interception should come. Am I right? Chaliye. Right. Section 130. Notwithstanding anything contained in the act. Don't worry. Now these words are only for a limited period of time. As soon as the budgetary amendment will come, these words are deleted, are going to be deleted. So what it says, notwithstanding anything contained in the act as of now, if any persons, 5 type of specific offenses are mentioned. And please see the words. Now, Mr. Manish, Mr. Bansal, and everybody, I need your intention, intention here, also intention. I need your quick reading and the appropriate reading, what it says, with the intent to evade the payment of tax. And this is what the base of my case laws are. Does not account for any goods where he is liable to pay. supply any goods, liable to pay without having applied for registration. First question, case laws discuss kare. I'm discussing the case laws. Is it mandatory that the registration should be there for 129, 130? Answer is no. Even if the person is transporting the goods, he has not taken the registration, the department can proceed against him. Second, sir, everywhere in section 130, it is referring to payment of tax has been awaited. There are high court judgments which clear cut says 130 cannot be invoked if there is no intention to evade taxes. And it is the duty of the officer concerned to prove, to come to section 130 that yes, this person had an intention to evade taxes. Under the confiscation, they say the person will be liable to penalty also. The goods will be confiscated. In no case 129 say lower penalty will be levied. At least the amount to be paid must be equal to section 129. Let's have a look on the example 2. And this is, if you don't want the goods to be confiscated, you pay the confiscation fine. Opportunity of being heard will be given. And the title of those goods rests with the government. Now they hold the possession as well as the title. Now see how much the amount can be there. Have a look. Redemption fine you can pay equivalent to market price of the goods released. I explain all these provisions with the help of an example. Mr. Rahul, a registered contractor in Punjab, he is supplying the goods worth 2 lakhs. 12% tax. How much is the tax? 24,000. Right? What can be the maximum amount? Maximum amount can be 2 lakh minus 24,000 tax. Yani 1,76,000. Reason, sir, you will be paying the taxes now. So ultimately it is 100%. Value of goods less the taxes, 176 can be the maximum redemption fine. Redemption fine. Plus, it should not be less than 129. In 129, what was the amount? 200%, 24,000. So 176 subject to minimum of maximum amount 1,76,000. Minimum amount 24,000. Now, Mr. Bansal, first of all, the department had a section has only set the limits for the maximum amount and the minimum amount, leaving it on to the officer concerned that how much amount should be paid by the person concerned as the redemption fine. Secondly, now this section also stands amended, notwithstanding anything contained. Overriding effect finished only in 5 cases. Linkage to 129. Here we studied that minimum 24,000 as per section 129. That is also over now. Now there is no linkage. They have directly mentioned, provided that 100, it should not be less than 100% to the tax payable on such goods. So minimum amount is still there, but not linked to 129. Now you see, wherever in 129, 130 was there, they have removed it. Wherever 130 was there, they have now removed 129 from. Moreover, my dear friends, they have also removed section 74 and 129 linking. What they have said, have a look. They have mentioned, okay, I might not have put it. They have mentioned if your goods are detained, get the order there and then under section 129 and 130. It is now no more linked with section 73 and 74 proceedings are different, and section 129 and 130 proceedings are entirely different. Now I am first coming on to the interplay because we just did section 129 and 130. Now I ask everyone, if you get any problem here, then please, you can ask there and then. Nowadays, department started detention of goods. Seller is too okay, but from where the seller purchasing? Sir, SR sir, please directly ask the question, right? Purchasing goods is wrong. How can the goods be detained on this ground? Let me come to the query later on. Let's first talk about the interplay. Practically, sir, section 129 should come into picture when the goods are just detained, because 130 has the intention, 130 says that this is the confiscation is to be resorted when there is an intent to evade taxes. Otherwise, section 129 should come into picture. If I talk about is the way to go to 130 is through 129, the answer to it is no. 129 and 130 are different sections. Practically, in all the cases of detention, the authorities straight away try to move to section 130, causing some sort of harassment to the person concerned and calling upon to the owner as to show why it should not be done and why the goods should not be confiscated. However, firstly, if there is no intent of fraud, no intention to evade the taxes, then the provisions of section 129 should be applied. Section 129 clause 6 refers to 130 once you do not pay the taxes, but that does not state that the officer cannot go. However, the section do mentions, if we talk about, just a minute, the first thing the authorities need to look into closely, that is there is a normal contravention of the act or the rules, then it is section 129 that needs to be invoked. And for the purpose of issuing the notices, the case has to be of such nature that on the face of it, the entire transaction goes bogus. Now I say you, let's suppose if I found the person to whom the goods are getting supplied is non-existent, to whom you are supplying the goods is non-existent, only when on the face of the entire transaction, it is clear cut there that yes, there was intent to evade the tax, only then 130 should be resorted to. In case of Sanergy Fortichem by Honorable Gujarat High Court, they have clear-cut mentioned that yes, these are two mutually exclusive sections. Sir, ye chhodiye, in many of the cases, what department said, they asked for 129 and then also moved to section 130. So in many matters, we have noticed that the goods are detained on the grounds that the tax paid on the product was less. In such matters, although the documents were in order, everything was order, then on basis of such error, section 130 should not be resorted. What should be the correct procedure? Authority is expected to follow, and the assessment proceeding should be taken on, and then the party concerned should be given a proper chance and to represent a case and not to directly move on to section 130. The Gujarat High Court in Sanergy Fortichem has clear-cut mentioned 129 is not linked to 130. Yes, officer can directly go to 130 also, but he needs to prove that there was an intent to evade tax. 129 has no linkage with 73 or 74. There is no requirement that your proceedings must be pending in the court or with the officer under section 73 or 74. And one thing more, in this case, you can also, yes, sir, according to me, Vijay sir, he can directly apply, Synergy 40cam clear cut says that he can directly apply section 130 without going into the provisions of section 129. But in the Synergy 40cam itself, the Gujarat High Court said to the government to remove such anomaly. Now, after this anomaly is removed, the officer concerned can go to section 130 only in those 5 cases that are stated therein. Sir, एक बात बताओ बंसल sir और others, क्योंकि ये query particularly अमित जी से आई थी. Sir, department के पास section 73 भी है और 74 भी है. Pro revenue होने की वजह से, although I know many officers are present over here, but still I take a bit of leverage that generally the section 74 is resorted, considering that there is an intent to evade tax. Likewise, the correct mechanism that should go if there has been any error, the rules are contravened, e-way bill is not there, it is merely a contravention. When the bill is not there, in that case, 129 should be resorted. 130 now is not given the overriding effect henceforth. Only in 5 cases that are mentioned in 130 will now come into picture. But in certain cases, it has been observed that this department is directly resorting to 130. But yes, they have this leverage because it is an overriding effect. They can resort to 130, but still they are supposed to prove that there was an intent to evade taxes. Because entire 130.
एक चीज ये भी आ रही है मैम, दिल्ली से मेरी किसी से बात हो रही थी तो वो ये कह रहे हैं दैट हमारे वाले केस में क्या किया, 129 और 130 तो इकट्ठे लगा ही दिए, उसके बाद इस बात को साल हो गया था तो हम अभी उसके लिए फाइट कर रहे हैं और उन्होंने ऊपर से 74 का भी नोटिस इशू कर दिया. मतलब 3 सेक्शंस में वो चले गए हैं और 129 की पेनल्टी भी लेने हैं, मांग रहे हैं. वो तो मैं मनीष जी से भी बात कर रहा था, वो उनके साथ भी है, मतलब वो डिस्कशन हो रही थी. 129 और 130 की तो वो ले ही रहे हैं, प्लस वो 74 का भी नोटिस इशू कर रहे हैं.
सर 129 में आपने पेमेंट कर दी थी पूरी?
नहीं, अभी पेमेंट नहीं करी ना मैम, वो तो श्योरिटी बॉन्ड के बेसिस पे उन्होंने हटा लिया था,
रिलीज कर
दिया.
तो अब आप मुझे ये बताइए, 129 में आपने जो श्योरिटी बॉन्ड पे किया वो सेक्शन 129 में किया, क्योंकि 130 में तो श्योरिटी बॉन्ड है ही
नहीं. 130 में उन्होंने पेनल्टी पे कर दी.
इसके ऊपर मैं आपको पर्टिकुलरली केस लॉ दे रही हूँ. जस्ट
हो क्या रहा है, उन्होंने 129 में तो उनके सीए ने सुजेस्ट किया था 129 के तो आप श्योरिटी बॉन्ड पे रिलीज कर लिए, क्योंकि वो मान नहीं रहा था. तो 130 की आप पेनल्टी पे कर दीजिए, क्योंकि वो गुड्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, कॉन्फिस्केट करेगा. 130 की पेनल्टी पे करके 129 का श्योरिटी बॉन्ड
आपने 130 में कन्फिस्केट रिडेम्पशन फाइन पे किया.
रिडेम्पशन फाइन, वही रिडेम्पशन फाइन पे कर दिया. 129 के अंदर श्योरिटी बॉन्ड दे दिया, डबल टैक्सेशन. और थर्ड, वो उनका इस बात को साल हो गया था और उनको 74 का नोटिस भी निकाल दिया 74 का.
फॉर द सेम इशू.
हाँ, सेम इशू, क्योंकि वो कह रहा है कि नॉट विथ स्टैंडिंग है. 74 में भी नॉट विथ स्टैंडिंग लिखा हुआ है.
सर I know he is doing it on the basis of the judgment of Synergy 40cam itself.
Synergy 40cam में तो सिर्फ 129 और 130.
No sir, 173, 74 is also dealt. Please have a look. कहाँ गई slide? Here it is. Here you see, sir. Please read this. The reference, similarly, the reference to section 73 and 74 respectively of the act is not warranted for the purpose of interpreting section 129 and 130, more particularly when they all are independent of each other. From the same, the inference is drawn because 130 was starting in. Sir, now what comes to your rescue is the proposed amendment in the budget itself. That clear-cut shows sections can be invoked. First thing, this is your ground. For one thing, I am liable for the penalty. Also, I am liable for the multiple actions have been taken from the same offense. One thing. Secondly, the proposed amendment in the sections clear-cut shows the intent of the government is not to take the multiple stages. And that is why they have now removed the words which was being used by the officer concerned here. notwithstanding anything contained in the act.
तो मैम अमेंडमेंट के बेसिस पे हम ये
सर
कर सकते हैं
इंटेंशन
प्रेजेंट,
तो क्लियर होती है ना?
नहीं ये प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं भी, अब उन्होंने नॉटविथस्टैंडिंग में हटा दिया तो इनमें से 129 लगेगा या 130 लगेगा, एक सेक्शन लगाओ।
एब्सोल्युटली सर।
ओके, सो दिस कम्स इनटू पिक्चर दैट लाइक
सर आपको मैं पर्टिकुलरली, आपको केस लॉ मस्ट बी देयर इन द स्लाइड में, कंट्रोल F नहीं कर सकती बिकॉज द स्लाइड शो इज गोइंग ऑन। पर्टिकुलरली व्हेन द डिपार्टमेंट वेंट टू 129 to 130, particularly case laws are there. You will get that in PPT once we move forward. Right? I might not be able to discuss all the case laws, but I will send you the particular slide too.
Okay.
Right? Chaliye, sir, mere suspicion. Here also, sir, this AP refinery case is also yours. Mere suspicion that a person is involved in certain sort of wrong type of transaction cannot be a ground to invoke the provisions of section 130. This is the recent judgment of last month. That only on the basis of suspicion, section 1, sir, here also, the person was transporting the rice bran oil and from Punjab to a dealer, and his goods were invoices. The driver produced the e-invoices, e-way bills, but the e-way bills were expired. So then they challenged that, and the officer directly invoked 130. And they said, you have to prove. The court also directed, sir, yahan pe bhi dekhiye, the court also directed to release the vehicles and the goods upon execution of a bond for the value of goods in GST INS 04, furnishing a security that you cannot invoke 130. And once the security and the bond has been furnished, sir, 129(6) also comes to your rest. 129 subsection 5 says, when once the amount specified in the notice under section 129 subsection 1 is paid, then in that case, the provisions of section 130, it doesn't say, it says the provision stands concluded. So when I paid that amount, that the provisions should stand concluded. Secondly, if I am under section, sir, the judgment is already there. A number of judgments, sir, where they have mentioned to release the amount after the execution of the bond. That is a separate procedure. Ki if you have paid through the execution of a bond, the goods must be released. But otherwise, they directed that 130 cannot be just a base. Even if, in case of commercial steel, the courts have held that even if your vehicle is found on a different route and the taxes were paid, IGST was paid, or the CGST, SGST was duly paid, you cannot levy the penalty under section 129. So these are the various judgments. I share some of the very good judgments that moves a point by the Honorable High Courts only, that even if the e-way bill was expired, but it shows a duly bill was there. There were only minor lapses. The bill was already shown in GSTR1. Still, if there is no intention to it, sir, what is required to be proved? Intention. If you prove that there was no intention and the officer has to prove the contrary. And sir, here is the case. Somebody who was asking about the undervaluation. It is the judgment by Honorable Chhattisgarh High Court, which says undervaluation of goods cannot be a ground for section 129. Power to detention.
इसमें जैसे कह रहे हैं, आपने कहा हाई कोर्ट ने ये डिसाइड किया that undervaluation can't be the ground for the detention, but can it be ground for 130 because it says intention to evade tax?
Sir, 130 तो is only on the 5 grounds.
नहीं तो उसमें तो intention to evade tax है ना?
Sir, intention to evade tax. I just come to section 130. Oh, sorry, I just moved ahead. Here, supplies in contravention of any of the provisions of this act or rules with the intent to evade taxes.
तो कहने का मतलब ये 5 points में ये first point ही हो गया ना, तो ये point बहुत ही ज्यादा wide है. वो क्या कहते हैं दैट अगर आपने ई-वे बिल भी नहीं किया ना तो इंटेंशन टू इवेड, अब हमारे केस में क्या हुआ दैट हमारा
सर आपके केस में बिल अवेलेबल था?
बिल अवेलेबल था मैम, वो फिर भी ये कह रहे हैं दैट आपने ई-वे बिल नहीं काटा तो आपका इंटेंशन टू इवेड टैक्स है। हमने कहा
सर
वो
then
कैसे है?
it is a very very fightable point.
हाँ वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना।
It is very much a fightable point, and the relief from by a writ can be easily sought in that case. And there are various judgment also. अब आप AP refinery का case if you see, so it is clear cut, sir. Even in the commercial steel, they say if the vehicle is found on some other route. So even then, the bill was there. Everything. If the e-way bill was missing, it does not show that I had certain intention to evade the taxes. Even in this, sir, in this tower case, a combined reading of section 129 and 130, especially the provision contained in sir, this is an opposite case as to Synergy. The even contained in subsection 6 indicates that the detention of goods is contemplated under the statute only when it is suspected that the goods are liable to confiscation. And they have also mentioned that the FAQ that has been published by the CBEC itself, section 130 comes into picture, sir. This case and this FAQ is very much relevant. 130 dealing with confiscation of goods indicate, if it is beyond doubt that yes, it was the infraction of the law, that the goods were liable were being transported with an intent to evade taxes, only then it should take place. Detention merely of some procedural lapses. Sorry, just a minute. I think so, sir. Bansal sir, this case of Indus Towers Limited directly covers your point. If there are procedural lapses like Rule 55 and 138 e-way bill, it cannot result in detention of goods. Though they may result in imposition of penalty, but the confiscation and the detention grounds cannot be resolved. Right? So I am not discussing all the case laws, but these case laws are really very good case laws. Here also in the Sidbali Stone Gallery, Honorable Gujarat High Court has clearly held that the competent authority detained the goods under transport as well as vehicle. What we are trying to convey is that for the purpose of invoking 130 at the very threshold, the authorities need to make a very, very strong case. I hope so, sir. These case laws clear-cut confines your answer, and that you cannot directly resort to 130 mere non-presence of sir, when the consignor is genuine, when the consignee is genuine, when the bills are there, when the goods are moving from the straight way, a mere non-presence of one e-way bill, you levy the penalty, but it should not be a ground of section 130. So we have got various honorable high court judgments where they have clear-cut mentioned that 130, for the purpose of 130, I told you the authorities need to prove that they had an intention. They need to make a very strong case. Otherwise, the contrary is on the stronger footing. Right? Chaliye. Now let's move forward. I am skipping these case laws for Synergy 40 we have already discussed because we have to cover, sir, even if there are minor breaches, and we are on 542, but I still cover few recent amendments. Friends, even in section 122, if we have transported the goods which are in contravention, the officer sometimes comes to 122. And Singla sir, in many of our cases, we have also considered section 122 subsection 3, which says only 10% of the penalty. Because 122 subsection 3 says when there is no intent to evade taxes, this 122 will be replaced by 10% of the tax amount. यहाँ तो 100% है ना, there it is 10% also. So कभी कभी जब minor errors हैं or certain things, so we say to the officer, sir, there was no intention to evade taxes, so they even leave the goods after 10% even, because the provision 122 subsection 3 exists. However, in section 122, in the list of 21 offenses, there are the cases when the goods are being transported without the proper cover of documents. So officer can come under 122, and for the purpose of 130, they also mentioned that the penalty under section 122 will be levied. Right, sir? One section is 131. Some people says the penalty and prosecution cannot go together. So in that case, let me tell you, section 131 clear cut says the payment of penalty or something is not to, or the detention is not to intervene with the punishments. So punishments are separate under 132, and otherwise these are separate provisions. Sir, a number of case laws, and generally I have tried to cover, this is again the case study related to 129, which I have cited. It is the part of Synergy Fertichem itself, that mere suspicion may not be sufficient to invoke 130 as being highlighted. If something has been done in good faith, and merely just by the authority needs to make a very, very strong case. Friends, this is the real-time tracking I was talking about. Now you see, this is the way how the message goes. Let me tell you all one thing very, very clear. Industry say the department is much ahead in technology. The way they are implementing the technology, you see, Navyuk, Bangalore, always say a person is considering, and what is the reason? No e-way bill. What are the critical commodities mentioned? No e-way bill, no e-way bill, no. The message instantly goes to the officer concerned on real-time basis, and your vehicle can be detained. So we need, and you know, it's linked to the Google Maps. It is linked that what is the present location. You might not be knowing. But they know where the vehicle is at present. Penalties also in section 129, as already discussed, cannot be invoked. Sir, one more thing. Valuation or classification of goods cannot be a ground at the time of interception of the vehicle. So this we dealt with under section, under the previous case laws also. I am not going to discuss the GST Council meeting because it is a meeting. It is a proposed changes, although I have summarized those changes on headwise. What is related to ITC? What are the increase or decrease in taxes? What are the provision related to ITC? What are the provision related to refunds, changes, compliances? But let me discuss a few pointers with you. The meeting which we had, 45th Council meeting, friends, in that case, certain policy changes were taken. What were those policy changes? That now 100% matching. This was obvious. Even they are going to withdraw the 5% cushion. Why? 16 to AA they will be implementing soon. They will be issuing the notification for the same soon. Secondly, the one good news. Chaliye, pehle I just come to, this is also good news, but this is just a clarification by way of a circular. Debit notes have been de-linked with the invoice. Friends, what I have created a practical example here also. Previously, what used to happen, please see before amendment, and this is a Finance Act 2020 amendment. Debit note was issued on 15/8. We used to check what is the exact invoice date. Invoice date is 1/3/2021. So it means because it is 1st March 2021, the return of September 21 was the last date to take the credit. Now we don't have to see the invoice date. Simple. 15/8 is the date of the debit note. Okay, September 2022. Now you see the debit notes for the purpose of taking the credits have been delinked. This is an old amendment, but the government just issued a circular 160 to clarify the issue. One more important and very good thing which we are going to see in the near future in GST, everywhere the words were written availed. Even if you have availed ITC, not utilized, you are subject to interest, you are subject to penalty. However, that the government has proposed that with retrospective effect, they will be making it no interest if the ineligible ITC is claimed but not utilized. So a welcome change that, okay, if the input is not utilized, there will be no issue. For brick kiln person, they will be bringing a composition scheme now at the whatever the GST rate, let's see they come at the rate of 12% with ITC or at the rate of 6% without ITC. Yes, in mentha oil, one more product which is added in 9 subsection 4 ka reverse chart. Abhi tak we had only real estate. Now the mentha oil has been added and it is exports because there was lots of revenue leakage in mentha oil. Export also is allowed only on the basis of LUT. Sir, in the times to come, entire refund of export industry are going to go on LUT basis only, and the mentha oil is first in the list. I'm not discussing that issues. Let me come to 2-3 major changes, and then I will take 5 more minutes. Friends, as to refund related change, yes. Now, if you have 2 branches, 2 different person, distinct person, the transfer is allowed from the cash ledgers. Unutilized balance between the distinct persons, even if they are in different state, is now allowed. Firstly, what used to happen, we used to take the refund from one cash ledger and then go. Now it is not there. No, Sandeep ji, diesel and petrol as of now are not likely to come under GST. The states are a bit reluctant, and furthermore, Sandeep ji, if we bring the petrol and diesel, heavy amount of GST is required to be levied on the same. So as a result, as of now, not. Refund of unutilized ITC, yes. Some people used to ask, many a times this query came to me also. When you say zero export duty, does it cover the nil rate? The government has now explained, even if your product is under nil export duty, it is covered as there is no export duty and you are eligible for the refund. The judgment of VKC footsteps, which recently came, you might not have liked the judgment to that extent it came on, but sir, a worth reading judgment. I yesterday had a session on this judgment and even 1 hour was short to read the judgment of 140 pages. The relevance of the word the, cases, allowed, claimed have been beautifully dealt in this judgment. But to summarize it, sir, issue kya tha? Aaj Vijay ji ko department we make and I became the assessee. Now Vijay ji, the department was saying that the words that are mentioned in the first proviso to section 54 subsection 3 are a substantive restriction. Substantive restriction. It is not merely a condition. We, on the part of the assessee, were saying it is a condition. If inputs rate is higher than the rate of output, it is a condition. Once you fulfill that condition, entire unutilized ITC should be allowed as refund. But the Honorable Supreme Court and the judgment has been delivered. And this says that no, it is merely not a condition, it is a substantive restriction, and they further refer to the intention of the government also, and they mention, okay, just tell me, is refund a statutory right or a constitutional right? Is refund a statutory right or a constitutional right? It is a statutory right, not a constitutional right, Vijayji. This is, it's the law's intention. It's the statute intention. It is the parliamentary point. If they want to give you refund, they will give. If they don't want to give you refund, they cannot give. So that is why they said law is very much in line. Intention is clear. 54 subsection 3 says it is a restriction, no refund of input services. Rule 89 sub-rule 5 is not ultra virus. There is no disharmony. It is a valid rule. However, we cannot struck down the rule just by saying that there is anomaly in the calculation. What is the anomaly? They have very clear-cut mentioned. They have very clear-cut mentioned that the person who is only under inverted duty structured turnover, his ITC is getting piled up of input service. However, the person who is under both inverted duty and the other tax structure, he is utilizing that. So this is the disparity. The court said it is not my area. It is not meant for the judicial review. And they have said to the government to go for it. And the government has said, that they will be forming a GOM, a ministers committee to deal with the certain issues in the times to come. Other than that, they have issued the clarification as to intermediary, which I'm not dealing, and the revocation also. Friends, in revocation, people were facing the problem. They have covered all the issues. Even if you have filed the application, even if your application is rejected, even if your application is pending for the appeal, rejected and pending with the appeal, all the cases relief has been given. And what is the time limit? If your period was getting a falling, time limit was expiring from 1st March to 31st December, then it is 30th September. If it is beyond that, it is up to October and November. So I have stated all the cases, 30th September, it is 31st October, 30 days beyond and 60 days beyond. Friends, मैं normally बता देती हूँ. Normally, 30 days is the normal time of revocation. 30 days by one authority, it can be extended. It can further be extended by 30 days by the commissioner. So this extension 60, with this extension 90. This is the maximum time period. For some period, the government has given the relaxation key, it will be extended up to 90 days. So they say if the time has expired, then it is till 30th September. If the time of 30 days is left, then 30th September plus 30 days. If the time of 60 days is left, 30th September plus 60 days. So like this, when you will go through this slide, it will be entirely clear to you. These are certain notifications which just came yesterday on 24/9 with respect to the registration, easily explainable, Aadhaar authentication in the old cases for the registered person and so on. I have put in here for your easy reference along with the comments thereon. And with this, I end up my deliberation and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anchalji. Thank you. And as always, you had been always a punctual while starting the deliberation. And so the house is open. If any members have any queries.
मनीष जी, ये चीटिंग है. चलते चलते गाड़ी में आधी चीजें सुनती हैं, आधी गायब हो जाती हैं.
नहीं. I had been there, Anchalji. I have attended the felicitation of the branch. Then I started the seminar.
I do understand. I'm just joking. Just kidding with you. Nothing else. Thank you so much to all of you for your wonderful words. I can see that. Yes, please, Manish ji, you kindly continue.
So, Anchalji, well, we don't have any words to thank you for your always support and your consent to spare out the time for the Bathinda branch. And as always, this session has been wonderfully deliberated. I think all the members would have been benefited at a large when it comes to the 129 and 130. Next time they'll be more confident while dealing with the cases. Thank you for sparing our time. Thank you, ma'am.
No, it's
And-
my pleasure.
And with these words, I'll also thank to members who have participated this webinar. And we are looking for more of such interactions. And we'd also request Aanchal ji that whenever she's able to spare her time, we would always be keen to hear her, ma'am.
Sir,
Okay.
it's always mutual learning. And where I never knew it, you are also Bansal. So when I was talking about Mr. Bansal, it covered both of you. So I think so, Amit Bansal ji, your query stands resorted somewhere, or still any doubt, anyone you people can ask on the issue of 129, 130. So free to ask any query if there is or something you want to ask.
I think,
Bansal
ma'am,
साहब,
that has
आपका
been.
ठीक हो गया? कुछ केस लॉस मिल गए आपको
मैम
बहुत सारे?
नहीं केस लॉस तो मिल गए। हमारे पास तो एक ही दिक्कत आती है यहाँ पे, जब हम पंजाब एंड हरियाणा कोर्ट का कोई अदर देन पंजाब एंड हरियाणा कोर्ट कोई भी केस लेके आते हैं तो वो कहते हैं वो हमारे ऊपर अप्लाई नहीं करता।
Sir, you have to fight, but you
वो
will
तो उसका
get the
कुछ भी
relief.
सिनेरियो नहीं, बट देन अगेन वी हैव टू गो फॉर अपील और वी हैव टू गो फॉर
Sir, this is what, chalo, I will connect some other day. The webinar is available on YouTube. But after this, I will surely tell you one point of it, which is pertinent to the GST and pertinent to indirect taxes, I must say. So with this, thank you so much. And I'm very thankful to Bathinda branch for such a love and affection. So now it has also become like a home branch. And thank you so much to all the participants for the patient listening.
Soon, ma'am, we'll be looking forward for a physical seminar also whenever you can spare out the time.
Sure,
We
sir.
would-
That will be my pleasure indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank
much,
you all.
Abdul
Thank you,
Rahman. Thank
Aanchal ji, once again. And thanks to all the members for participating and making this event successful. Thank you.